Tourist at temple mauled by bear after teasing it with food. One of the things you should know not to do in life is tease a hungry bear with food. A tourist visiting a Buddhist monastery in Thailand earlier this week had to learn that lesson the hard way, making the mistake of not only teasing the bear, but standing within striking distance of her. On August 2nd, 36-year-old Naifum Pamrati donated some money to feed Keo, an Asian black bear living on the temple grounds. He reportedly dangled the food above her, yanking the meal away when she would get close. The tables quickly turned on him though, when Keo stood up and pulled Naifum into her enclosure. Naifum was practically eaten alive as the bear ripped flesh off of him. His friends tried everything they could think of to get the bear to stop the attack. Unfazed by their attempts, Keo pulled Naifum further into the enclosure, dragging him around like a ragdoll. Though he appears lifeless, Naifum is still alive. One of Naifum's friends ran into the caged area and started beating the bear with a pole. As you can see, Keo the bear didn't seem to care. Eventually though, probably sick of taking the blows, the animal did let Naifum go, and his friends managed to get him out of there. They rushed him to the nearest hospital to receive emergency treatment because somehow he did not die. He did, however, need nearly 1,000 sutures to heal his flesh-torn wounds. At least he'll have enough scars to remind him that it's not smart to toy with dangerous animals that can kill you. Meanwhile, following the incident, local reports indicate Keo the bear was taken to a government wildlife center. On lockdown and noticeably depressed, officials have reportedly decided to relocate the 6-year-old bear to a more natural environment to live out her days. After being seized from an illegal owner when she was only a year old, Keo was put in the care of the temple monks, who raised her with dozens of wild boars. This was reportedly her first attack on a human, and though she can't be released into the wild due to her familiarity with people, hopefully the dinner menu at her new home won't be too bad.
Don't let YouTube ad bots dictate what Tomo News reports. Support us at patreon.com/TomoNews.
When animals attack, you can bet we'll be there.
Naked man attempts suicide by jumping into lion cage. 2 lions were killed after attacking a man who jumped into their enclosure and stripped naked in an apparent suicide attempt in Chile early on Saturday. It all started when 20-year-old Franco Luis Ferrada climbed on top of the lion pen and forced his way into the cage. After getting into the enclosure, Ferrada took off all of his clothes. Witnesses said the lions ignored Ferrada at first, but attacked after he started taunting them. Zookeepers first tried to hose the lions down, and then tried firing a tranquilizer dart, but hit Ferrada in the neck instead of the animals. One of the zookeepers was then forced to open fire with live rounds and kill the 2 lions in front of a large crowd of zoogoers. Ferrada was taken to a local health clinic in critical condition with injuries to his head and pelvis. Chilean media reports say a suicide note was found in his clothes. We're not sure what this numbskull was thinking when he decided to stick his thick head in between the jaws of a crocodile. But as you're about to see, he probably won't be doing it again in a hurry. The video was filmed by a tourist last week at one of Thailand's most famous crocodile shows, on the island of Samui. We see the fearless zookeeper get down on his knees, then fool around with some sticks, which he uses to prise Mr. Crocodile's mouth open. Then, waving the sticks around like some sort of cross between Keith Moon and David Copperfield, our hero works his magic to put the croc under a mesmerizing spell. Then, slowly, tentatively, teasingly, the zookeeper lowers his head and places it between the jaws of the beast. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Seems like the crocodile's had enough of this charade. He's off, back into the water. Crazy thing is, the zookeeper showed off his injuries from previous crocodile mishaps before this fail of a show, including a missing finger. Guess some people never learn.
Update on man killed by tigers after scaling zoo wall. Tigers are born killers, and when you accidentally find yourself on their turf, they'll be sure to let you know. A man in Ningbo, China found this out the hard way after he scaled a wall to get into the zoo for free, but paid the price with his life. On January 28th, the man surnamed Zhang and his co-worker surnamed Li decided to take their families for a nice outing at the Yonggor Zoo. While their wives walked in with Zhang's 2 children, the men decided to hop the fence, trying to save less than $20 US each on park admission. Scaling the zoo's 10-foot-tall outer wall, past warnings and wire netting, they met with another 10-foot wall. While Li stayed back, Zhang forged ahead. Unfortunately, when he dropped down, he didn't realize he'd just entered tiger territory. Trapped like a rat and surrounded by 4 big cats, Li walked into a painful hour of punishment for his grave mistake. Other park visitors could only watch in horror as the 4 tigers' curiosity led them to feast on Zhang's body. Zoo officials used firecrackers and water cannons to scare away 3 of the tigers, but one of them was undeterred by the threats, more fascinated with its new plaything. Rather than back off, the tiger batted Zhang around like a ball of yarn and then stripped off his clothes, leaving his flesh exposed. As the tiger dragged his body into the forested area of the enclosure, Chinese special forces finally gunned it down with a bullet. Meanwhile, Zhang was rushed to hospital, but soon died of his devastating injuries. In the aftermath of the incident, the public is mourning, not for the death of the foolish father of 2, but for the dead tiger. A representative of animal rights group PETA has stated, attacks by captive big cats on people, which occur with staggering regularity, illustrate the profound level of stress, anxiety, and agitation these animals experience every day of their lives. The tiger's death is garnering the sympathy of Chinese netizens, much like Harambe the gorilla last year in the US. One Weibo user wrote, "This visitor's death by mauling really does not deserve any sympathy. Tigers are the carnivorous kings of the jungle and hunting for food is their instinct. Who can you blame if you jump in and get attacked? Rest in peace, tiger."
Hey Tomo Sapiens! Help us beat the ad bots by joining our Patreon News Squad at patreon.com/Tomo News.
Elephant tramples handler after years of giving rides. If you've ever gone on vacation and ridden an elephant, you might have enjoyed yourself, but consider that the elephant might not have, and sometimes they'll let you know. In Zimbabwe, a 30-year-old bull elephant named Mabanje had been bullied by his handler, Enoch Kofandanda, into giving rides to tourists for years. Enoch reportedly used a stick to force the elephant to do his bidding. On July 22nd, having lined up a new group of tourists, Enoch went to retrieve the elephant, and that's when Mabanje finally put his foot down. The elephant stomped the hell out of his handler, and witnesses say a bloody hole in Enoch's chest may have come from the very stick he used to beat Mabanje. As you can kinda see, the 50-year-old man was thrashed all the way to the grave. Enoch's colleagues were quick to take Mabanje out, as he was still in a rage and they were worried he may be a threat to others. This was reportedly the 3rd time Mabanje had gone after Enoch. An official speaking on behalf of local tourism and safari operators admitted elephants are known to keep grudges for years when mistreated by handlers. World Animal Protection called the incident another sad reminder that elephants are wild animals and should not be ridden.